meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilman Harris.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Avery.
Here.
President Eccles is absent today, and our meeting is being chaired by President Pro Tem Councilman Cannon, Councilman Stewart,
Here.
Cannon,
Here.
and Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present. The meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Jeremy Ward to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, we thank you for the blessings of life, the sunshine that we see, but Lord, most of all, we thank you for the privilege to be able to govern and meet and to make decisions. And Lord, I pray for our leaders today that you give them wisdom beyond men to bring glory to you and prosperity to our city. And God, we just ask that in the midst of it that you are our thoughts and you are the ones on our mind. We praise you for all these things in thy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I move Jeremy be the
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work sessions and city council meeting held on May the 7th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payments of accounts for the week of May the 3rd through the 9th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those
Can I-
in favor,
Can I have a discussion right quick?
okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I had a talk with the city attorney. You know, we had some questions about ratifying payments of accounts as opposed to approving payments of accounts and holding. It seems that we have a dilemma, so I think the city clerk has been working through that. So I just want to let everybody know that we're still working on that issue. There was another questionable situation that I wanted to hold up, but it's already gone. So I think some of the other council members experienced that. Did you not ban on one issue?
Yeah, in my little brain, it just appeared to me that we ought to be ratifying or approving payment of checks the week before they go out, instead of the week after they go out.
Right. And then I think there was another little situation. So,
And there was, yes.
So we're going to work on that. I just want the council to know that we're still working on it. We hadn't forgot it. Plus the public needs, since we brought it up, the public needs to be aware that we just didn't sweep it under the rug. Okay.
Any more discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Those in favor to ratify payment of the accounts, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify.
Proclamations?
I just said they have one. Oh,
Yeah.
the vice mayor.
Dr. Reverend G.E. Robinson. Come on up, sir. Whereas Dr. Reverend G.E. Robinson was born on May 29, 1941, and grew up on a farm in rural Elmore County, Alabama. The second born of 10 children, he knew as a teenager that he had been called to preach and has stated, "I grew up in church. It's always been my life." And whereas when he was only 22 years old, G.E. Robinson was called to his first pastorate, the Early Rose Baptist Church in Alexander City. He later served as pastor of Mount Andrew Baptist Church in Tuskegee and Bethel Baptist Church in Ashland. In March 1973, he was called to Galilee Baptist Church in Gadsden, where he still remains as pastor. And whereas Dr. Robinson has pursued higher education and learning and holds many degrees, including Bachelor of Theology, Bible Certificate, Bible Diploma, Bachelor of Arts, and Doctor of Divinity. And whereas Dr. Robinson has also been very active in religious organizations, serving as president of the Alabama Northeast District Convention, vice moderator of the Wills Creek District Association, charter trustee, board member of Selma University, and appointed member of the Reorganization Committee, National Baptist Convention USA, Incorporated. And whereas during his tenure, Galilee Baptist Church constructed a new sanctuary on the site of the former Robert Colley Elementary School and has continued to grow and remains a beacon in the community. And whereas on April 7th, 2013, the congregation of Galilee Baptist Church honored Dr. Robinson with a special celebration of his 50 years in ministry and completion of 40 years of service to their church. Now, therefore, Mayor Sherman Guyton and the Gadsden City Council hereby join in commending Dr. Reverend G.E. Robinson for his dedicated service to the church and the community, as well as his many accomplishments, and congratulating him upon completion of his 40th year as pastor of the Galilee Baptist Church, presented this 14th day of May 2013. Congratulations.
Briefly, let me say thanks to our mayor, who may be absent, the persons who serve our communities as leaders in the office that you serve in, and we certainly thank Gadsden, Alabama, for what Gadsden has meant to me. I want you to continue to pray for our city, pray for our country. We are facing some dangerous and uncertain times now, and certainly those who lead in the capacities that you lead in need to stay prayed up. Bless you, and thank you again for the presentation.
Good. Mr. President, can I just say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Reverend Dr. Robinson, we want to say we appreciate you and your leadership that you provided, not only at Galilee, but in the city. You've been a beacon in this city for a long time, and that's an award that's well-deserved, and we really appreciate you. So just, you keep us in your prayers, and we would definitely do the same thing, keeping you in our prayers. And we appreciate you.
Yes, we do appreciate you.
Galilee is in my district, and they certainly are a beacon and serve the community well, and so congratulations, Doctor.
Reverend Robinson, we're gonna correct Shane too. That's Elmo County and Ellick City.
Well, congratulations again, Dr. Robinson. Having been a resident of the west side, south side, during my early years and attending South Gadsden Elementary School, and remembering years ago when you took the place of Reverend Jarrett, you've done a good job there at that church, and you ought to be commended. And we thank you for your community services.
Yeah. And I guess I'm the only one. I've known Reverend Robinson a long time. And I stack him up as a friend of mine, and I'm proud of this. 40 years.
Yeah.
My goodness gracious.
That's a long time.
That's almost as old as I am. Almost.
Almost.
On that note, I guess we better move on. They might tell us age.
We better move on with the line here in a minute.
That brings us down to unfinished business. A is an ordinance amending City Code Section 18-333 regarding plumbing reinspection fees. This ordinance was presented last week for the first reading. It increases the fee for second reinspection from $25 to $50, and third and reinspections after that from $50 to $100. The first reinspection fee will remain $15. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, I asked my question last week as to why we increasing the inspection fee. I would think it costs us the same thing to go out the first time as it do the second time, as it do the third time. And I was just wondering why we just didn't have a set fee and be through with it, but they explained it to me.
Did Brian give us some feedback upstairs?
He gave us some feedback, but today? No, he gave us some last week, but it still didn't satisfy me, but
You gave him some homework last week.
I gave him some homework too, but that's okay. We'll go ahead on and deal with it.
Any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
The next one's B, ordinance amending International Plumbing Code 2009 edition by amending the city code section 18-432. This ordinance was presented last week for the first reading. It specifies that PVC and CPVC pipe and fitting are not permitted inside of the perimeter or foundation walls of a building or closer than 2 feet to the outside of a foundation wall. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? No further discussion. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
New business, do we have any today?
Yes, Mr. President, I have one. It's a Resolution 118. Ask for unanimous consent to consider this resolution. It's authorizing the job title of Museum Director to be changed to Museum Curator. The job classification and pay range will remain the same.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
I'll move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
Abstain.
we have one abstention. Motion carries to adopt.
Do we have any further new business?
Mr. President, I have a resolution I'd like to ask for unanimous consent to consider this morning. It's a resolution authorizing reappointment of Tim McCartney and Bob Minyard to the Zoning Board of Adjustments.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today under new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
I'll ask for passage, please.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
This is a very important board that is like a lot of our boards. They are all volunteer, they're non-paying boards, but citizens step up and fill these positions, and just like to say thank you to all of you that serve on these boards. They're very important to the city.
Any more discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Any more new business? Department reports, committee boards, do we have any today? Brings us down to remarks by the mayor and council. Councilman Harris, would you like to go first?
Yes, I'll just make a comment, Mr. President. The grass cutting is proceeding in the city as promised by the mayor on last week or 2 weeks ago. Shane, give me the number that you said we cut. 48. We cut 48 lots yesterday, and for those who have a concern, the process is moving forward. It's a great concern in some areas more than others where we have grown over lots, but they are being taken care of. We've asked that we get an update on a weekly basis of where they're cutting and where the cutting will take place during the next week, so that we can answer your questions when we get phone calls as to why or when are they going to cut this property. So the process is moving forward, and we thank them for the cooperation that we've gotten in handling that terrible problem. That's all I have.
Councilman Williams?
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have anything today.
Councilman Avery?
Mr. President, I just want to make mention of my district meeting this Thursday at 5 p.m. at the Carver Community Center. Please, ma'am, and please, sir, if you can make it, be there. There's some information that we're going to be giving out to the community. Also want to give my condolences to a couple of families, my neighbors. You know, this is a bad time of the year for me, anyway, Mother's Day. 15 years ago, yesterday, I buried my mother the day after Mother's Day, and that's kind of rough. But I had a neighbor, two neighbors, as a matter of fact, to pass, and both were mothers. And I just know how it is this time of the year when you lose your mother. It's bad when you lose them anyway, but around Mother's Day, it makes it extra hard. On yesterday, Miss Deborah McCurry was funeralized, and in a little while, Mrs. Zora Knight. Like I said, both of those were neighbors, and I just want to let those family know that our prayers and thoughts are with them at this time. It's just one of those things. But anyway, that's all I have.
Councilman Stewart?
I'm just real pleased to hear that the grass cutting program is really taking off, and we're going to get caught up here in a few weeks. Another thing I'd like to mention that it's beginning to become mosquito season again, and I understand our program now is if you want your street sprayed, you need to make a call into the city, and I think Johnny has that number, and maybe some more details on the mosquito spray. That's all I have this morning.
Councilman Reed?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Andy to be sure, if you would get that in the paper about mosquitoes. I had that down, the number I can tell you is 549-4703. And because I've had calls and people wondering why we can't get sprayed, and my understanding is, didn't you say that ADM says we can't do regular routes anymore, we have to do it on call? So Andy, if you would please put that in the paper and let the people know before they call us. I mean, they're welcome to call, there's no problem there. I do have a couple of announcements this morning. I'm taking this from Kay Moore's Facebook page, but it's important, I think. Saturday, May 18th, I believe that's this Saturday, the Marine and Fleet Marine Force Corpsman, former and retired, McLaughlin Detachment Number 1091 of the Marine Corps League will be sponsoring a cookout in honor of all Marines and elected Marine Corpsmen at Marana Park on Albert Raines Boulevard. They'll be there from noon until 5 p.m. and they're asking people to bring the family, join them, and just have a good food and fun and fellowship. Again, that's the Marine Corps League is putting that on, so it's this Saturday from noon to 5. And the other one is the Gadsden Etowah Patriots Association. Everybody goes to Memorial Day, and hopefully they will this year. It's us, and it's also the city of Gadsden. It's going to be May the 27th of this year at 10 a.m. I think we're going to have right at 150 chairs, Shane. I believe we've talked to Parks and Rec about that, so they'll have a provided place to sit. And the Marine Corps will be there with water. It gets kind of hot up there every once in a while, and I believe that Saturday probably will be too, so they'll be there just in case. There'll be a 1/2 hour ceremony. The color guard will be the Etowah County Sheriff's Office. We hope to have Carl Brady as our MC. The music, we just got the music. That's real good. Okay. I saw that kind of music. East Gadsden Baptist Youth Choir will be there to do the music. That'll be the national anthem and so on and so forth. Our speaker, we're really enthused about this, is retired Command Sergeant Major Leon Caffey. He'll be there to do our keynote speech. We'll have a 21-gun salute. And of course, Wayne Hammond from the Gadsden Police Department will be doing Amazing Grace. Mm-hmm. And taps will be done from an unknown source. We had hoped to have a fly over, in, or whatever. I think that'd be impressive if it works out, and Rick Vaughn's working real hard to get that done, Billy. So our theme, as always, at the memorial is not one shall be forgotten.
All right.
So we'll look forward to that Monday, okay?
And Ben, if for no other reason, if you haven't heard Wayne Hammond play Amazing Grace on those bagpipes, it's worth coming just to hear that.
You know, the answering of the taps, that kind of moves you too.
Yeah, yes, it does.
So it will.
We'll
look forward to that on the 27th at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll have a really good program. Wear your blue shirt and your name tag.
The name is on the shirt.
Shane Ellison, Assistant to the Mayor's got something else he needs to tell us.
Vice Mayor.
You brought up Kay Moore, and since she's not here, I'll go ahead and announce that this Thursday is Third Thursday. We're going to start early this time because James Spann will be here to do the weather at 4, 5, and 6. So the entertainer this time is Jess Goggins. Kay's bragged on her a good bit, so it'll be good to see and hear her. And She'll start performing around 4:30. Folks are welcome to come on down whenever. At that point, don't forget to bring lawn chairs and your cooler. With James Spann there, there'll probably be a lot of folks, so everybody come. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Shane.
So you're gonna give out some free bobbleheads, bobbleheads?
This year.
I just want to remind everybody that this Saturday's music at the gazebo, it starts at 5 and ends at 10. There'll be free food, good entertainment. I think they got 3 or 4 bands lined up for this week. And also tell them we'll let the cat out of the bag. June the 15th, that'll be on a Saturday from 10 to 10 in Alabama City. We'll have singing all day. It starts at 10. But somebody will be singing all day. There'll be food down there. There'll probably be vendors. We're going to have a trade day hopefully down there. We'll have a farmer's market down there that Saturday. And the merchants are getting together trying to give away like a hidden treasure, you know, where you go around the stores that's open and try to find some little item or something that tells you where the next treasure you're going to look for will be. That should be really fun down there. We're expecting a lot of folks that day. I also like to announce that due to the Alabama League Convention next week, the City Council will not meet on May the 21st. The next regular scheduled meeting of the City Council will be May the 28th. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We adjourn.